Hello everyone and welcome to the Kop Council. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you are, then please let me know in the comment section down below. And this is a return of the Kop Council podcast. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've had a podcast on the channel. Obviously, as you can see by the two gentlemen that's on the screen right now, normally we do the podcast over on Jack's channel, but I thought I'd bring it back because a few of you guys have asked for it. So yeah, we're here. Hello. Today we're going to be doing our ultimate Liverpool, starting 11, then you could say. But if you could do us the massive favor and please like the video, it would be massively appreciated. And also hit that subscribe button while you're there. And like I said, we have two phenomenal guests. As you can see, we have Jack from Jack Mac LFC. How are you doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Hopefully everyone watching at home safe and you two lads are good. As always, shout out to all the day-to-day workers, the key workers and all the NHS staff out there, and everyone really keep on battling, and thank you very much for the continued nursing of everyone. But nice one for having me on today, mate. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure, mate. And yeah, everyone, please stay safe. Please follow the guidelines, and please, please help the NHS do what they're doing at the minute. Doing an absolutely fantastic job in what they're. We need to support them as much as anyone else. And also, as well, I have Doug from the Dugout YouTube channel. How are you doing as well, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's been a very, very nice day. It's been nice to get outside. Actually, I've been kind of stuck indoors at the weekend, but it's been very, very nice to get out. But yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, mate. It's been a while. Like, obviously, I think obviously we've all been doing our own type of videos, but like I think it's been a while since we've done an actual group one on here. I think the last one was after match reaction, I think, on my channel at least. So it's brilliant to have you two on. And guys, go and follow and subscribe and everything like that. As you can see on the screen right now, hopefully their Twitter handles are on the screen, so go and follow them on Twitter, but it's all in the video description anyway, so please go follow, like and subscribe everywhere you can. But like I said, this is a Premier League all 11. Of course, you've got Sky Sports doing it at the minute. They're practically following the YouTubers and just taking our ideas, but still, we'll take the credit for it. But still, obviously we're going to be talking about loads of things tonight. Obviously, from goalkeeper to defenders to midfielders to forwards and even managers. We'll be describing it and everything like that. We'll be practically putting the best Liverpool ever 11. And if you disagree with us or agree with us, then please let us know in the comment section down below. But of course, we need a formation to start with in this. So I'm first of all going to go to you, Doug. What formation would you like this ultimate Liverpool 11 to be?
I've gone for a 4-2-1-3. Formation. I've kind of shaken it up a little bit. So I've obviously got four guys at the back, and then I've got two central midfielders, one attacking midfielder, and then three attackers. So I decided to shake it up a little bit. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Ooh, very, very interesting. Jack, what formation have you gone for?
I think I'll be similar to Doug. I know, obviously, I think I'll go for the 4-2-3-1. I think that was probably, if you have to pick a formation to define Liverpool's Premier League year, I think it would be that. So I think I'll go with it. Similar to Doug, with an attacking midfielder in behind our, obviously, striker in our left and right cam, central attacking and right attacking mids areas.
Well, that's made my job a lot easier. Of course, I'll be kind of like the judge in this type of video. Obviously, these two are practically the defense and everything like that. So practically I'm your jury today, and I'm your Judge Judy, if you want to be. But still, so we'll go for a 4-2-3-1. I think that's pretty much a good formation and a solid formation to go by. But of course, with a team, you need to start with a goalkeeper, and Liverpool have had some shocking goalkeepers, I'm not going to lie, in the Premier League era. We're not going to mention any, hopefully, today. But yeah, Jack, goalkeeper, there has been some bad, like I just said, but there has also been some good. And, who have you gone for the goalkeeper spot?
I think there's the man between the sticks that we've currently got. For what he's a short time which he's been in the Premier League, I think we can all agree he's absolutely done absolutely phenomenal. And really, Pepe Reina, I love the fella. He's such a great character. You only have to see when Spain won the Euros. He's a big character in the changing rooms. He's an adopted Scouser as well. I think everyone at Liverpool would be very happy to when he was a free transfer, obviously before he went to Villa and that. I think he was rumoured to be coming back to Liverpool, but I think I'd have to pick Alisson just for what he's done since he's coming in. He's come in, like we said, over the previous videos we've done on the channel, mate, and everyone said around the world, people that do come to Liverpool necessarily do not, the last couple of signings on the Jürgen, they're not world-class top level, but Liverpool and Jürgen make them into world-class players. And Alisson, the amount of clean sheets in which he's had this season, last season as well. But we talk about the impact in which we'll talk about under a fellow Dutchman in the defensive partner, who's going to be the stone half of my defence. But he's had such an important role, and I think it's very those two signs. But Alisson, I think it's my heart's saying Pepe Reina, but my head's saying Alisson, because really, if you want a goalkeeper and you want to win trophies, we've seen what he done in the Stadio Metropolitano Stadium last season in the final.
It's to be fair, Alisson Becker, it's exactly what you said. We've never bought superstars, if that makes sense, and we've always created them and then sold them on for ridiculous amount of money and everything. Phil Coutinho, maybe he might make it in this squad, but things like that. And Doug, obviously Alisson Becker, and Jack's mentioned Pepe Reina there as well. Would you go for Alisson Becker as well?
I've gone for Pepe Reina, actually. The reason being is I absolutely loved him when he came to Liverpool. Obviously signed after the Champions League final in 2005, because obviously, Dudek was obviously moving on after that. But Reina came in and played really, really well. And obviously the 2006 final against West Ham, he'll obviously be remembered for saving the penalties. So for me, just because of the longevity of us having this goalkeeper, for me it's Pepe Reina.
Oh, so I've kind of got to be a judge for this. Now, I love Pepe Reina, and I think he is a phenomenal. Well, he was a phenomenal goalkeeper for Liverpool. I think he had 3 Golden Gloves in his first 3.
Yeah,
and that's just ridiculous numbers. But I am gonna have to go for the Brazilian number 1, Alisson Becker. For me, I've never seen a goalkeeper like him before. I think he's been, redeveloped in, the goalkeeper position for the last 3 years, even before he moved to Liverpool and had that fantastic season for Roma. Obviously we destroyed Roma in the Champions League in the semi, and I think that's the most Alisson has conceded at Anfield, I believe. So,
it would have been about 15 goals, and I did made it wasn't for him anyway. Yeah. I think he made some cracking saves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, for me, he is number 1 in the world. Many people will argue All Black and Edison and even David De Gea somehow for David De Gea. But for me, Alisson Becker gets into the team. And that was a bit of, who gets in, who doesn't get in. But for me, Alisson does get into the team. Right back then, of course, we've had so many good right backs at the club. And I will specify this as well, because, I will think of this. As long as the player has played at right back, you can choose him. So if it's a centre back or left back that has played right back, you can choose him. So guys in the comments as well, you can do that as well if you'd like. But of course, moving on then to the right back position. Doug, who have you gone for right back, my friend?
Well, as you were just saying that, I've gone for Jamie Carragher. Now, I was torn between Alvaro Arbeloa and Jamie Carragher, but I've gone for Jamie Carragher just because basically he has to get in for me. One-man club, retired in 2013 season. Almost scored against QPR. I think everyone remembers that shot that hit the underside of the bar. It was just he's just been a fantastic servant for Liverpool. So for me, Jamie Carragher is my right back.
Ooh, Mr. Carragher. I think, Carragher, for me anyway, he wouldn't get in at centre back. That's kind of a spoiler for that. But yeah, he wouldn't get in at centre back because, we've had so many, phenomenal centre backs at the club. Anyway, well, maybe not so much Premier League era, but all time and that. But yeah, I can see, Jamie Carragher. Obviously, you mentioned Alvaro Arbeloa, an absolutely phenomenal right back while at Liverpool. Very underrated as well while he was at Liverpool, for me anyway. But Jack, obviously we've had Jamie Carragher. Have you got anyone else that isn't Jamie Carragher?
I can't figure out who you said on the last video we done. Obviously that's still coming up anyway, so keep an eye out on that, Reds. But I'm tempted to go with Trent. Carragher's a fantastic shout, but for me, if I was going to pick that team, and I was going to set up, but Arbeloa in a 4-2-3-1 for what he'd done, I know I'd choose just for the premise of defensive, because obviously. Or do you want to go right back, everyone? Let us know in the comment section below. It's an hard one, this one. Well, it will be an hard team anyway, but I'm trying to think how I would want my team set up. No, I don't need a defensive right back. If it was going defensive right back, I'd go with Arbeloa. I'd definitely not pick Glenn Johnson because he's a lot more forward thinking anyway. He was a great player, Johnson. But now knowing that what we've got, and obviously Martin Kelly could put him right back. When he remember the first game, everyone, when he played, it was in the Champions League or Europa League, and he looked like one good player going down that right side. Or Wisdom, do we go with Wisdom? Nah, surely I've got to go with Jamie Carragher. Yeah, I think I've got to. Or John Flanagan. Nah, not that. All the names are going back to me now that I played right back. Yeah, it's got to be Jamie Carragher, mate. As much as I want to put Trent in, I know we've thrown Alisson in, but in terms of Trent, it's probably people screaming at telly, but for me, Carragher, just to get him in there in that position. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's one of these things, I think Trent, bit of a spoiler for your video. I think I said, it's a bit too, not so much early. It's, maybe if it's 1 or 2 seasons more, then maybe you could put in Trent and that. But yeah, I would go Jamie Carragher for this. I think, obviously, the legend that is, John Flanagan, in that 13-14 season. To be fair, he was good.
He played
he was, phenomenal then. But then as soon as he had the injuries, he just, went flopping and went up to Rangers. And I think he's doing a good job there. I could be wrong with that. But yeah, he's, Jamie Carragher's an icon. When you think of Liverpool, the two Scousers, the Gerrards and Carragher, if you've listened to Peter Crouch's, podcast, he said that, them two are just savages whenever it comes to judging players and everything like that. And getting them to be better for Liverpool than you could say. So, yeah, I'm going for Mr. Jamie Carragher in at right back. So that is a spot taken up there. So we're going to go with right-sided centre-back now. Jack, who have you got for your first centre-back?
Sammy Appiah. And I think everyone knows who I'm going to pick alongside him anyway, but Sammy Appiah, Big Sammy. As a kid, growing up, I think for the love of football club, and you just see that big fella, blonde hair, 6'5". It used to score so many vital headers. Obviously, the header in which we mentioned on our pod that we done a couple of days ago, the goal in which he scored against Juventus, and there's probably a lot more in the catalogue. But in an era and a time where Liverpool weren't blessed defensively like we are now, the fella's quality just shone above a lot more. I think personally he was a better quality defender than Jamie Carragher. Sammy, we had a lot more pace to him than Jamie Carragher, but what like him and Carra done. They read the game so well, and I feel just everything about his game, his aerial threat, and in terms of his distribution with both feet. I think he'd fit in very well alongside in the current crop of Liverpool's squad anyway, mate. But Big Sammy, I've got to go.
Yeah, it's Warren, like I said about Jamie Carragher, Warren icon, Big Sammy, he's an absolute icon when you think of, the past Liverpool centre backs. And realistically, we've only had, really, like, I'd say maybe we've had some good centre backs, but we've also had some elite centre backs, and I think he goes into that elite category for me anyway, personally. Doug, would you agree with Sami Hyypiä at the right-sided centre back spot?
Yeah, I have to agree because Hyypiä was my right-sided centre back as well. So I think that's an easy choice. No, Sami Hyypiä, fantastic player. Yeah, Jack's right. I mean, the amount of important goals he scored. Juventus, Arsenal. I seem to remember, I think he scored them against Manchester United as well, obviously, when we obviously lost. But what a player. What a player. I mean, for him to come to us, I mean, I didn't obviously hear about him when we signed him, but boy, we all know about him now. That was probably one of Hooley's best signings, in my opinion. And Sami Hyypiä, for me, I was gutted when he retired because I felt he could maybe still go on a little bit, but what a credit to him. And for me, Sami Hyypiä has to be the right side of centre back. But I was torn between Daniel Agger and Sami Hyypiä, but for me, Sami Hyypiä just shades it for me.
Yeah. Daniel Agger is, I think we spoke off camera of like how much in love we are with Daniel Agger. He's such a cult hero, and all right, he had to retire early due to injuries and unforeseen reasons, and unfortunately he had to end his Liverpool career early to go back to where he started his career. But yeah, Sami Hyypiä, like all of us have said that Big Sammy, he for me would be absolutely there. I think the season where he left Liverpool, I think in 2009-10, I think we massively missed him from that. Like, Liverpool were only, I believe, 4 points from Manchester United for the title. And, I think, maybe if Sammy was still there, maybe Liverpool might have not so much, gone off the cliff as we did, because I think we finished, I believe, like 7th the season afterwards. So, maybe if he had stayed for that extra year, Liverpool would have been fine. But, it was towards the banter era Liverpool Football Club. I think all of us are happy and over the moon that is over with now. But yeah, Sami Hyypiä is at the right-sided centre-back in this team, and the left-sided centre-back now. And I think everyone can guess who it is, but we're not gonna just blab it out. Doug, who have you got at left-sided centre back?
Virgil van Dijk. There's no question about that one. It has to be Mr. Virg. I've never seen a centre back look so controlled on the ball as he does. His weight of passing as well is just something to be desired as well. Everyone ripped us apart by the price tag we paid Southampton, but he's repaid that, and not a bad way to start your Liverpool career, scoring on your debut against the Bitters at Anfield. I think if you were to basically introduce yourself as a Liverpool player, I think that was the best way to do it. But no, Virgil van Dijk for me has been absolutely sensational, and Player of the Year a couple of years ago as well. He's just been terrific, and he is only going to get better. So for me, no question, Virgil van Dijk, left side of centre back.
Jack, I don't think you could really argue with that, can you?
Kyriakos, maybe centre back. Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe Dejan Lovren. There's a couple of great legendary centre backs for Liverpool, but yeah. Doug's spot on with everything he said. I think I'd agree. I think we still give it another 5 years. I think we got Virgil van Dijk. I think we robbed Southampton I think Klopp probably laughed his head off, and Michael Edwards with the price tag in which he set. I think Southampton probably went, even though they were pushing us all season, all that transfer window, and just 7 transfer windows before it prior to us signing them. Eventually, it was a great January Christmas gift anyway, wasn't it? At that time, but what a signing. And I think in terms of potentially of who retires sooner, I know Virgil's a lot younger than Hendo. I think Hendo's in his early 30s or late 29 anyway. So I think it either will be Trent or Van Dijk that to take over the captaincy. But in terms of, as you mentioned, Doug mentioned Agger as well, and you, Agger, what an icon. And how Michael Owen is ambassador and Daniel Agger isn't is an absolute disgrace, and that needs to be sorted. Because you just have to see, he never walked on his tattoos, his passion for the football club, and really the passion in which when he left as well. I'm not sure he's got an autobiography out, but if he has, everyone make sure you do and read it. I read it a couple of weeks ago, like a paragraph in which he talks about, it was from somewhere in which he wrote anyway, but when he was leaving the football club, he said he was getting touted by Barca's, by the likes of obviously Manchester City when he got new owners anyway. But the ability of Daniel Agger, I think he'd be very suited alongside. I think Virgil van Dijk would be rubbing his hands all the way to the bank anyway in terms of how good Agger was. If he didn't get his injuries, I tell you, we could have literally been talking about Daniel Agger in the same breath in terms of Virgil van Dijk, because in terms of quality as a defensive centre-back, he was up there with Virgil van Dijk, but injuries being, he wasn't able to continue. And quickly on Sammy as well, if you haven't followed Sam Ippier, I don't know if you do, on Instagram, make sure you do, because he's very into his motor racing and his scramble bikes, and some of his videos he puts up are absolute crackers. That's on his Instagram, so check him out.
Yeah, go and check out Sammy's Instagram. And yeah, I think maybe that does need to maybe be looked at with Daniel Agger and Michael. Yeah, it's like, how is Michael Owen an ambassador at Liverpool still? You know, that's criminal in my opinion. If someone has a tattoo, someone that's put like ink on their body, you know, showing that they have love and support to Liverpool Football Club on their knuckles, as Doug is showing right now, it's you know, for me, it shows that he loves the club. And for me, he needs to be an ambassador, because, you know, every time you listen to him speaking about Liverpool, it's only in praise or, you know, encouragement, or, you know, him just being a fan of Liverpool Football Club. But yeah, Virgil van Dijk for that spot, I think.
Sorry, I thought Doug was wanting to fight between all of them.
No. No, I totally agree with you, Jack. I mean, Michael Owen, how he's our ambassador is something else. Daniel Agger breathes Liverpool. You know, he's got "You'll Never Walk Alone" on his knuckles, so that just says everything about him. So for me, yeah, we do need to look at that ambassador, because Michael Owen, well, you joined the enemy. So, you know, if you do that, then there's no way back for me.
He's more interested in his horse racing, isn't he? So
yeah.
It's been well. The thing is with Michael Owen, I think he said it on was it Jamie Carragher's podcast? I believe he said some stuff about the transfer and that, and said that, you know, it was never meant to happen. It was all his agent and thing. It's like, I'm like, you signed the papers. You were the person who signed the papers and signed the contract. But, you know, we'll talk about that Michael Owen thing, you know, a lot.
And for a bit of money, like, nailed it.
Exactly. So yeah, Virgil van Dijk for the centre-back spot. I think, you know, like what Jack said, you know, we absolutely robbed Southampton of £75 million, and everyone was taking the, you know, the mick out of us and saying, you know, he's just a poor man's, you know, Chris Smalling. And, well, quite frankly, Chris Smalling couldn't even lace up one of his boots. Now, to be quite honest with you, especially Phil Jones as well. That, like, you know, Phil Jones will beat everyone for the memes, but he could never beat Virgil van Dijk in you know, stuff on the pitch. But moving on to left back then, like I said about the right back, we've had, phenomenal left backs. We've had some crazy left backs, and we've had some god awful left backs. A certain one, Jack's hairstyle is currently representing a certain Paul Konchesky.
I thought you meant John Anadis with me ginge. Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, John Arisa in early, I think it was 2002, had a skinhead. So yeah, you can beat John Arisa.
I think you might have one now as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but Jack, would you go John Arisa for left back?
Yeah, might go Leto or something, or Sissoko, or play Manquillo. Swap him from right back to left back. We didn't mention him before in the right back slot. Street some crackers, haven't they? Play a left back. Yeah, definitely. I've got to go. Definitely Konchesky. In terms of, I've got to go. Definitely 1,000,000,000%. For me, as much as I love Robbo, I think he will be in every single legendary Liverpool team in the next, after his career's gone. I think he will go down as Liverpool's best ever left back. But for me personally, left back has to go to John Arisa, just for what he done when I was watching him as a kid, and just the power of his left foot. It was ridiculous. His questionable ability of defending, like Carragher always loves to remind Ginge, as he always used to call him anyway. It wasn't there, but going forward, he was phenomenal. His free kick ability to just strike a ball. We all remember what he'd done in the finals of the Champions League and the FA Cup. The FA Cup final. What a player! And his goals go down in folklore. Really, I don't think there's ever been, apart from Stevie G, in my time watching Liverpool, I can't remember just a person that could just absolutely welly a footy that hard, apart from Roberto Carlos.
To be fair, they're both in the category of someone you would be absolutely terrified of being in front of a football. Roberto Carlos and John Arisa.
You'd be like when you were joining in school and that, and it was raining everyone when you were playing as a kid, or if you're still playing now, and you got whacked by the ball, and it was always by that one person that you knew could absolutely belt it at you, and you had you go in to see your mum or your dad or whatnot, and you go in with an imprint on your leg, and you're like, whew, have you got that?
Yeah. To be fair, John Arisa is a brilliant shout. I think I remember a game. I think John Arisa took a free kick, and he was against Manchester United. And I can't remember the player's name. I think it was Matt Smith. Yeah, and he just broke his leg by the power of the shot. And it's I would not want to be in front of that. And me personally, I would not want to be in front of it. But Doug, obviously, Jack has just mentioned John Arisa. Would you go John Arisa, or would you go for maybe Andrew Robinson or another left back?
I'm actually going to go for another left back, and it's another legend in mine is Fabio Aurelio. I absolutely loved him when he was at Liverpool, and a couple of goals just come to mind. Is one at Old Trafford. We all remember that, and that elusive grey kit. Fantastic free kick, that one. And the free kick against Chelsea where he catches Cech off his line. I think he was about 35 yards out, and he just bends into the corner. For me, he was probably better defensively than Risa. Injuries, yes, played a part of his career, but when he played, he was just something else on that left-hand side. So for me, I think Aurelio would get in there ahead of Risa. Like Jack says, I think Robertson, in times to come, I think he'll be fantastic. I think he'll be a very, very good left back. But for me, Aurelio just sneaks it in for me ahead of Risa. And in fact, just going on to Paul Konchesky, imagine if Gerrard had not scored that. We would have lost to a Paul Konchesky goal that goes over Pepe Reina's head.
I don't remember. I took that out there. I remember being about 6. I don't remember that.
like every time I look at, so obviously, if you guys haven't checked out, the latest video of mine, the kit where I talk about it, every time I look back at that 2010 kit, I have images of Paul Konchesky in it just signing in front of Melwood, and it's just horrifying, and I just wish I can get him out of my head and my skull, but I can't, guys. It happened.
It's like a Stephen King. If Stephen King could sign the player, it'd probably be Paul Konchesky.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That is true. So, I've got a very hard decision to make. Who do I go for? John Onorisa or Fabio Aurelio? Should I just twist it all, guys, and go Andy Robertson? No, I'm joking. I won't do that. Even though, you two guys have said that, Andy Robertson is probably one for the, well, I say one for the future. He is currently the future, and I think, in time he will go down as Liverpool's best ever left back. But for me, I'm gonna go Fabio Aurelio. For me personally, I love John Onorisa, and I love, him going forward and bombing down the wings and everything like that. But it's like what Doug said, the memory of, that goal against Manchester United in the grey kit. The kit, I think it's the worst selling ever away kit in Liverpool's history. And it's probably now one of the most famous kits in Liverpool's history. So, for me, when fit, Fabio Aurelio was absolutely unstoppable. And unfortunately, due to injury problems, he did get, hampered with that and, did move on then from Liverpool. But yeah, for me, Fabio Aurelio gets in at left back. So that is our goalkeeper, our defence sorted. And of course, now we'll go on to the midfield. We kind of have a two-man midfield, obviously, because we're going for a 4-2-3-1. Doug, who would you go for in the first defensive or centre midfield spot?
Yeah, of course. It's a very exciting time for me personally. Steven Gerrard has to be, hands down, Steven Gerrard. If he's not in this team, then there's something wrong. Steven Gerrard could win you a game on his own. He's just Mr. Liverpool. He's just Mr. Liverpool. Yeah, what can you say? 119 Premier League goals. He was just something else, wasn't he, Stevie G? I've never seen a player who can actually hit a ball like he can. Amount of goals that he scored. I remember the late winners. I remember the late winners against Middlesbrough. I remember the Olympiacos goal. I think everyone remembers that. He catalysed us on our comeback against AC Milan. And then obviously the Gerrard final. Thank goodness, Stevie, you saved us from that horrifying moment. But yeah, Steven Gerrard, hands down, for me, is the greatest Liverpool midfielder I've ever seen.
And yeah, definitely. Well, you go back to the Olympiacos games, the Champions League final. They are solidified in Liverpool's history, and I think if a player does that, then he's pretty good. You could say he's pretty good. Jack, would you disagree with Stevie G, or you just say, what an absolute player?
I'm going to go with Xavier Mascherano, just for the central defensive midfield role. For my team, I have got Gerrard in my team, but not in those CDM areas. I think for me, Xavier Mascherano, I think I would have hated to play against him. I think all of us would. He was an absolute, I'm not going to swear, but he was an absolute pain in the backside to play against. I loved it when we signed him, and it was a game when I can cast my mind back, everyone, and you can remember when we played Manchester United, and all you see is Xavier Mascherano, Fergie giving it beans on the touchline, and Mascherano was just giving it all that to the death, and it's just like he never shut up. But that's the character in which you need. Gutted that he left, because I tell you, there was the only person that we replaced him with was Fabinho. We haven't replaced him for years. We tried to replace Mascherano and Xabi with Gareth Barry. Don't get me wrong, Gareth Barry wasn't on the same level as both of them, and it would have been very hard to get a player coming in terms of on the level of those two. But Xavi Mascherano, I think we've only just replaced him now with Fabinho in the previous transfer window, And I think that's a player that we do need, especially in the 4-4-2. You need at least one holding midfield player that just really. I would have loved to have put Fabinho in, like we mentioned with Trent and Andy Robinson. I think Fabinho could have a couple of Premier League titles, fingers crossed, in the coming years. But Masha, I think for me, I want him in my team just to be an absolute pain in the backside, get a couple of yellows, a couple of red cards as well if he wants to, but just to cause havoc. And just in terms of his ability as well, he can play in that central centre-back position like he did at Barcelona when he went there. But for me, he was an absolute lovely player to play against.
Yes, absolutely. I think for the one spot, I'm going to give to Stevie G. I think that is pretty much, nailed on. I think, he is Captain Fantastic. Like Doug said, he's Liverpool's greatest midfielder. I'd go as far as to say he's Liverpool's greatest ever player. I think many people will say other players like King Kenny and John Barnes and people like that. But for me, Stevie G, as soon as you think Liverpool, it's, you think Stevie G. So Jack has said Mascherano for the other spot. Doug, would you go for anyone else, or would you go for Mascherano next to Stevie G?
There's only really other one midfielder that I can really pick, really. Big Xabi Alonso. Honestly, Xabi Alonso, another fantastic player. Again, another one that could pass a ball about 60 yards. We had one of the greatest midfields that you can think about. Steven Gerrard, Javier Mascherano, Xabi Alonso, Mascherano, Momo Sissoko. We all remember that midfield. Yeah, but for me, Xabi Alonso, I remember his goals against Luton Town. I remember the goals against Newcastle. I remember there was a free kick against Hull where he hit it off the wall. And it came back to him and he just wellied it and it went to the bottom corner. So for me, Xabi Alonso alongside Steven Gerrard for me would be a fantastic midfield. But I have to say, Mascherano, I absolutely loved him as a player. I loved all the shithousery. I actually remember the game that you were mentioned, Jack. I think it was the 2-1 game I think it was the 2008-2009 season where obviously Ryan Babel scored the winner. Yeah, I was actually at that game, and I could actually remember Mascherano giving it all that to Fergie, which was nice. Obviously, the 2009-10 game I was also at, and he got sent off. But yeah, I absolutely loved him as a player. And yeah, gutted when he left. And I was gutted when Alonso left. But for me, Alonso just gets in there for me because of the passing, because I've got two passers in my midfield. So for me, Alonso goes in there.
It's, that song, of those three and others. See, this is hard now because I'd like three in the midfield, not two, so I can just give it to Mascherano and Alonso. For me, I'm gonna go for Alonso, just based on that partnership between Gerrard, like the 08-09 team when you had like the core of like Pepe Reina, Jamie Carragher, Gerrard, Alonso, and then Fernando Torres. That core was just absolutely fantastic. And I think that, Alonso, well, you think about it, Alonso, he scored the equalising goal in Istanbul. So, for me, that is, a thing in history for Liverpool, even though I do love Mascherano and, I just loved him, taking the piss out of people. That was pretty much the fun part about it, especially Ferguson and, everyone at Manchester United at Anfield. It was fantastic, that game was. But
and you actually remember the 2012 Champions League final as well. He came out onto the Wembley pitch and he was speaking to, I think it was Jeff Shreves or someone, and he says, "This is for you, Liverpool fans." I apologise. So for me, for that aspect, he's a hero for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think, if there was a third midfielder, he'd definitely be in there for me.
Could you not put Gerrard Can?
No.
Could you not? That's why I picked it, Mascherano. I thought we were going to put like in the 4-2-3-1, you'd have Gerrard behind the striker, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And and then you go with like a left attacker mid or a right. Obviously, they can be wingers.
I'm not gonna go for it. I would normally, but no, I'm not. I'm not gonna go for it. Maybe Mascherano might make the bench potentially, but yeah. So we'll go for Alonso for that. But unfortunately for Mascherano, just doesn't make it. Right. So right-sided forward, then you could say in the attacking three. Doug, I think I know who you're gonna go for, but who are you gonna go for?
Joe Cole. No. Oh God, Joe Cole. Do you remember the game? Remember the game that he got sent off for the first debut?
He was literally on the pitch for 10 seconds, wasn't he?
Absolutely awful. No, there's only really one right-sided forward for me, and it is Mohamed Salah, our Egyptian king. What can we say about him? His first season, 38 goals or something like that. It was just a crazy something season. And then last season was a 44. It was something crazy among that. But yeah, Mohamed Salah for me has just been an absolute breath of fresh air. Everyone remembered his goal against Chelsea last season, the top bins. I mean, I think that is still going into the net when Kepa's actually trying to reach for it. He's actually trying to reach for that. But for me, Salah's just been absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, there's not really any arguments for me. Mohamed Salah, he is going to probably still be playing next season. And I think he will probably get to the 100 probably quicker than any other player. 100 goals, I would say.
Yeah, when you think about it, we signed Mo Salah to be a back steady for Sadio Mane, and that's what all the journalists are reporting and everything like that. That it was going to be, the front three were going to be Bobby, Coutinho, and Mane, and then Salah would come on, and that, and how wrong we was, how everybody was, and I think as well there was like a Radio 5 live presenter. I can't remember her name.
Oh, that woman, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
She kept on, even though he was having the most phenomenal of seasons, she just kept on and kept on and kept on, saying he was Juan Cuadrado, saying he didn't know anything about football and how to finish or anything like that. That's a bold statement for someone that has 2 golden boots right now. And it's kind of a successful thing, so it's not like that. But yeah, Mo Salah is definitely up there. Jack, have you got Mo on the right side as well?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think there's no questions about it, really. On those journalists, so-called journalists, that's why the journalists are not scouts. They're not scouts, really, because he can write and type and talk and whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, he's banging the goals in, and he has been doing it for the past few years. Salah's going to go down in history at Liverpool Football Club, and it's absolutely fantastic for what he's promoting in the Middle East as well, for his Egyptian nation as well. It's phenomenal, the charity work which he does. But on the pitch, he's an absolute superstar, and as much as he has been frustrating the last couple of seasons, but that's only because of his levels in which he does himself.
Yeah.
The sheer amount of goals in which, as Doug's mentioned before, and Connor, he's ridiculous for a wide-sided player. Yeah, he does play down the centre sometimes, but the numbers are ridiculous. I mean, I don't think you have to look at, obviously, like Robert Lewandowski, but Lewandowski's a striker. Messi and Ronaldo are ridiculous. But if you go over the last previous seasons, I think Mo's definitely very much right behind them in terms of goal output and really the assists as well. But he's phenomenal, and I'm hoping he gets a couple more Premier League titles and a couple more European Cups, because obviously we've been blessed with John Barnes before, John Barnes as well, Dirk Kuyt, another notable mention as well. Definitely not on the level of Salah really, but in terms of his work ethic and really cult hero status at the football club, I think we all of us loved Dirk down that right hand side. That hat trick sticks out. I remember that hat trick against Manchester United. I think that was probably the easiest hat trick anyone had ever had in Premier League history. It was like totaled to like the 6 yards in total of all those the length in which of this whole goal taken. But yeah, Dirk House, I think definitely hands down, Mo Salah.
Yeah, it's Dirk Kuyt was always the player that turned up on the big occasions. The Everton penalties, and like you said, the hat-trick against Manchester United. But yeah, Mo Salah for me is 100% worthy of getting into this team. I think even now, I've heard a couple of people moaning about the Mo Salah song isn't sung as much at Anfield anymore. As it was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. And to be fair, I think that's probably correct. I think some, not so much all, but the minority of fans have kind of gotten his back because he isn't scoring the amount he did in his first season. But that was just a freak, an unbelievable season. But still, he's proving it. He's I think nearly every single game now he's got around maybe 3 or 4 defenders just around him alone. And, he's, when you think about it, he's, freeing up space for the likes of Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane, and others, to score and create goals. So for me, I think Mo Salah is definitely deserving a place in this team. So attacking midfielder then, guys. I'll start with you, Jack. Attacking midfield, I know you wanted Gerrard there, and you wanted Mascherano in the team, but I decided no. And yeah, but who was your second choice then, I could say, for the spot, if you did have one?
Has to be Suarez, wouldn't it? I would put Bobby down there in the attacking areas. Obviously, when he played the Hoffenheim, very creative, but we can't have Gerrard. Just to be able, can we have Suarez in that position? Are we allowed? Or?
Yeah, you can call it a centre forward spot then.
Centre forward role, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed, I'd go with Suarez. Yeah, I think Suarez, and I think everyone can guess who I'm going to put up top later. But yeah, it was either Suarez or Firmino. But in that role, you need people that just create and really in that position score as well. But yeah, just for whom then I put in, I've got to put Suarez in. So yeah, definitely got to be Suarez. We all know what he done at Liverpool Football Club. But I tell you, if he was behind our current three, that would be mad. But definitely Suarez. The antics in which he done off the pitch, ridiculous. But for what he done on the pitch, and yeah, he did do that, scored against us in the Camp Nou last season. But he's playing for them now. We had his antics when he was at the football club. But in terms of what he offered this football club when he was there, he basically dragged Liverpool Football Club to a potential title all on his own. Don't get me wrong, Rodgers was fantastic, but Suarez brought the best out of Gerrard, Henderson, Suarez himself as well. But he brought out the best in Sterling and Sturridge. You only have to look at the numbers in which Sturridge and Sterling got in that season. It's no fluke. And when he went to Barca, he won a couple of Champions Leagues as well after that. So it just highlights the quality of the lad. And I don't think I've seen a more natural, gifted player apart from obviously like Gerrard. Suarez was like Messi. He was from another planet. After stuff he done, you just stood there in awe, and you're like, you are one player.
Yeah. I gotta agree with that. I think we'll like call it an attacking mid centre forward thing. I think Suarez was that for a couple of years, and then he moved more upwards then, or even did play a centre forward role in the 13-14 season. But yeah, I think off the field, I don't think any of us would like to talk about that because he was a bit of a prick. Let's be honest, he was. But on the field, I don't think there was anyone that could touch him in the Premier League at that time. Obviously, you had the Manchester City team with like Yaya Toure and David Silva and others, doing their bits for their clubs. But for me, I think in the 13-14 season at least, I think he had like an 8-game ban, obviously for what he did and all like that, and still got 31 goals and like 14 or 13 assists. So he was just absolutely crazy that season. And for me, Suarez definitely deserves to get into this team. But Doug, who would you pick to get into this attacking mid or centre forward spot?
Yeah, Suarez for me, definitely. I mean, let's be honest, that 13-14 season was just mental. The amount of crazy goals he scored. I remember there was a goal he scored against West Brom where he was outside of the box and he managed to head it into the back of the net. I mean, that guy could do anything. But like you said, Jack, S&S, Suarez and Sturridge that season were just unplayable. And then obviously you had Sterling there as well. But obviously we all know about the pitch antics, but what a phenomenal player. And 4 hat-tricks against Norwich. He loved playing Norwich. I think it was something like 11 goals in 11 goals in 4 games against Norwich, which was absolutely unbelievable. But Suarez for me was just on a different planet that season. And actually, if you remember, the fee we actually paid for him was 22.8 million to Ajax.
Steal, absolute robbery,
absolute steal. So you have to say that, and obviously we bought Andy Carroll as well. Everyone knows about that. But for just
Jesus.
He just scored some unbelievable goals. There was even one against Newcastle where he took on his chest and then just dribbled into the net.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal, and it was a pity he left, but I feel he could have won things at Liverpool had he stayed. But I think as we look ahead now, I'm kind of glad he did leave because I wouldn't have wanted the off the pitch antics to get the better of him, and I think he was hounded out of England, to be honest.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, I absolutely agree. I think, he definitely deserves to be in this team. But I think, I think the year before the 13-14 season, and that whole, if you guys remember the Arsenal antics with, 40 million and a pound, those memes, they were hilarious at the time. But, Arsenal was strongly going for him at the time. And, I think no matter what happened that season, if it was, Liverpool winning the title or not, I think he was going after that season.
Yeah.
I think, like what Doug said, I think he was promised by the club, if we don't perform or if we don't watch, then, you can go. And I don't want to say he did it on purpose, but I think what he did in that World Cup, I think he added to it.
Mm.
And I think, I think maybe what he did lowered the price down as well for Liverpool, because I think Liverpool could have been easily asking for 80, 90, 100 million quid quite easily.
Was that the World Cup where he beat Chiellini?
Yeah.
Yes, I know he had 2 mad World Cups, and I'm only laughing because I can remember him doing what he done against Ghana. And that was the biggest.
He got sent off, didn't he?
Sent
off for the handball. Yeah.
And I'm sure that was before we signed him. And we're like, what the hell have we signed? Because
it was.
Because we knew he was coming, and everyone was like, oh yeah, we've signed him and that. And then you see this fella just do Maradona stuff, and you're like, you absolute mad clampot. But you have to admire his willingness. I think Suarez, he literally done whatever needs be to win, which we've seen Ramos doing in previous years. But winners are winners, and they'll do whatever needs be to win. Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that. I think I weirdly remember a game of Suarez where I think it was against Norwich, and we were 2-1 up, and someone injured him, and then Sterling grabs the ball and does like a mad run, and he just jumps up like nothing happened. And that was just Luis Suarez down to a T. But Suarez makes it into this team. The left side of the attacking 3 then. I think I know people's answers, but Doug, is it a certain main man that I like to call?
Yeah, absolutely. It's how do we describe Sadio Mane? Someone who just continues to dominate players on and off the pitch. For me, he's player of the season this season. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. He's picked up a level this year for me. The amount of goals he's scored as well has been absolutely phenomenal. And again, 36 million is looking like an absolute bargain again. We seem to have stolen another bargain there. So, for me, Sadio Mane has been phenomenal in all of his seasons that he's been at Liverpool so far. And he's only going to get better as well. And I think the rumours to Real Madrid are absolute rubbish. Cannot see him leaving this. And I've actually he does a lot off the pitch as well. He's obviously done a lot for his home country as well. He's obviously put in a lot of money for obviously schools to be there, and I think he's done a lot for the virus as well. He's been absolutely sensational. So for me, there's no question Sadio Mane has to be in this team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love to call him the main man, Mane, because for me he is that for Liverpool. I think he is the main man for sure. Jack, of course, like Doug said, he's an absolute, bargain when you think about it. £36 million in today's market is, buys you Jack Grealish.
Brighton probably also.
Yeah, so someone average then you could say. But yeah, actually people might actually slaughter me for calling Jack Grealish average, so please don't if you're watching. Hello. But no, yeah. But Jack, would you go for Sadio Mane or would you go for someone else?
I'm going to go, as I said before, Alberto Vieira. Remember him? I remember that goal against Aston Villa. I think he's definitely got to go left mid. No, joking. Stuart Downing, possibly. Never know. Remember?
Oh, Stuart Downing, no.
We've had some crackers down the left-hand flank anyway. But yeah, as Doug said, apologies, had to let the cat out. I think the cat was supporting Mane as well with agreeing with Doug. She was going, yes, Mane. But Mane, yeah, definitely. For what he's done for the football club, and as Doug said, the work in which he does for charity work and everything. I don't know the correct app, anyone, but search on Google or Twitter. I know he's just done a documentary.
Senegal one.
Yeah, the Senegal one. It's a great documentary. It's free to watch, so go and sign up anyway. You'll find it on Twitter anyway, but it's fantastic. It's very insightful into Mane and really the work in which the Senegal national team and him mainly as well. But he will go down like he will with Salah. Is willing. There's been games over this period of time, over the 12 months, where you're like, Liverpool played so bad, but Mane has been the man that stepped up, similar to Salah as well. But if you had to, I wouldn't be surprised if Mane does win Player of the Year this year. It's either going to be Henderson or Mane. But if you're a Premier League player, I think especially if you're an attacking one, you will be voting for Sadio Mane because he's been ridiculous. You can't even put into words how good he's been over the 12-month, even the 24-month periods. That back heel against Bayern Munich in the Allianz Arena. Just the stuff in which he makes makes football look so easy, but he's always, if you watch the replays when Liverpool score, he's like, right, no, we scored, we can celebrate, but he's like, right, we'll go back to business. He's a very driven person and we talk about James Milner and Henderson, the ability to really lead, for example, but I think Mane, he has led Liverpool's front line along with Salah and Firmino. They do it very differently, but he's been a vital cog in Liverpool's success over the 12-month, 24-month dominance, especially in the Premier League. But I'm hoping he goes down with Barnsley as a Liverpool icon. I'm pretty sure he will be doing down that left-hand flank, but he will have cult status if he continues. And everyone talks about, I know Doug mentioned the Real Madrid links, there's been nothing that an inkling to really say he loves this football club, and I think he loves Liverpool as a football club as well, and the people, and he loves Liverpool as a city, from what you hear in and around, and when he goes around the shops and everything. So, but he bleeds red. He's an absolute Liverpool icon and legend. I get so emotional when I watch him because he's just like every single one of us. If he scores against Man United, he will go to the away end and do He literally, I wouldn't put it past him. It screams at the away end and like just he'd be going mad. I love him, but yeah, he's phenomenal.
Yeah. I love Sadio Mane. I think, I agree with you. I think and Doug, I think, it's going to be between him and Henderson for Player of the Year. And when that will be announced, who knows? Because obviously, what's going on around the world, and that when will the season get back underway. But, I've seen a few people mention, Kevin De Bruyne and co and things like that. I think, with Manchester City players, they haven't won the PFA Player of the Year, even when they've won the league and even when they've had phenomenal seasons. And rightfully so. I think Sadio Mane, for me anyway, he's the one guy that it's very rare for him to have an off day. And I think that's been the thing since he's come into Liverpool. You go back to, I think it's the 16-17 season when we first signed him, his debut goal, that phenomenal run on the outside, and then being all the Arsenal defenders and, the top corner finish, absolutely phenomenal. And that whole entire season, it was him, Adam Lallana and Phil Coutinho and Bobby Firmino. They were the main, focal point of Liverpool for that, season when we got back into the Champions League. And then the year after, him and Salah, competing. And you think about it as well, and many people forget about this, him and Coutinho were fighting quite a lot for that left wing position. And Klopp would maybe sometimes bench Sadio Mane. And normally when a player does that, and a top quality player like Sadio Mane, they think about leaving. They think, I'm good enough to play anywhere else. Why would I stick around on the bench? Coutinho left, and Sadio Mane become probably Liverpool's best attacker in the front three. And for me, he just keeps on getting better and better with every single year. And for me, definitely deserves to be in this team. But so we'll go then with the last position in the starting lineup. Thank you for everyone, mind if you are still listening or watching. It's much appreciated. We have been going for an hour, but a striker, I think I know what people are going for. Hopefully, all of us are mind readers. If you're mind reader in the comments as well, let us know. But I think, Doug, a certain Spaniard could be playing at the number 9 role.
I think so. There's only one for me. Fernando Torres was just incredible player. Obviously, we all know about him leaving for Chelsea, etc. But that 08-09 season, and actually 07-08 season as well, he was just phenomenal. Remember his debut goal against Chelsea? Turned Tal Benaim out inside out. Turned him inside out, and then obviously scored past Czech, and the rest is history. But he obviously before Salah came to Liverpool, he was obviously the quickest to 50 goals, and then obviously Salah did it as well. But yeah, that goal against Blackburn, I think we all remember that. The one he takes it on his chest. Basically, he's back to goal and he just hits a beautiful half volley into the top corner. So for me, Fernando Torres has to be in this team.
Yeah, that just thinking about that shot against Blackburn was, I believe it was goal of the season.
Yeah,
if my memory serves me correct. And one person that is in this team and did actually, I think, play right back that game, and Jamie Carragher assisted that goal. So that's one for the memories. Then you could say, Jack, are you the same? Hernando Torres, the guy that broke our hearts, but we still somehow love him in some sense.
Yeah, El Nino, he was iconic, wasn't he? I think it was a year or Doug on it. We were going to the Legends game. He was meant to be going, wasn't he? Me. Yeah. He was. I think it was good to be seeing him, but I think it's been delayed, obviously, due to the coronavirus. But I think Torres, as he said, then he broke our hearts, and we've all learned from that now. I think as a player, as a kid, growing up, probably our older Liverpool supporters are probably used to that. They had their experience probably when Keegan or Rushy left in the past. But he was a phenomenal player. The stats statistics. Chelsea, I think, just bought him, didn't he, just to get him off the hands of Liverpool. But saying that, he did win the European Cup and the Europa League when he went there. But I tell you, what a player and what a he was an absolute nightmare, and Vidic still has nightmares to this day of him. Sees him in the bathroom, sees him going over his shoulder anyway. But yeah, El Nino, definitely.
Yeah, for me, when Fernando Torres left, that was I was sad when Xabi Alonso left, but Fernando Torres was the real first player that properly broke my heart. And I think that was for many Liverpool fans, and it wasn't helped by, I think he did a Chelsea TV interview and said something like regarding Liverpool, and it was pretty bad and all like that. And yeah, many fans just didn't like that since. But then, of course, obviously him doing legend games with Stevie G and others, and him speaking highly of Liverpool, since he's left Chelsea and other places like that. For me, he absolutely deserves to be in this team. The starter kit for Fernando Torres was long, black to blonde hair, total 90 white boots, the tape and just the hairband and the long sleeves. That was just prime Fernando Torres. That was just prime Fernando Torres.
You knew you were in for our game when that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And Gerrard putting up his socks as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people forget as well, the season before Torres actually come in, we lost the Champions League final. And maybe if we'd signed Torres 12 months earlier, maybe we might have won that. Maybe number 6 might have been, a lot earlier than what it was. But that's, it's all ifs and buts and maybes. I think the unfortunate thing was that he didn't win anything at Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think that's the real shame for that. But, he was an absolute elite striker. I think, like I said earlier on, you get those good players and then you get the elite strikers and players. And he definitely, for me, during that period and Liverpool's period, he was definitely there. So that is then the starting 11. What a side this is. I'm going to repeat the team that we have chosen. So we've gone with Alisson Becker in goal. We've gone Jamie Carragher right back, Sami Hyypiä and Virgil van Dijk at the 2 centre-back spots, and Fabio Aurelio at number 12. Well, at left back. I've just written down his number for some reason. That's why I've said 12. And then defensive midfields, we've gone Gerrard and Xabi Alonso. Middle 3 then of Mohamed Salah, Luis Suarez and Sadio Mane. If any of you guys are keeping up with the LFC things, Sadio Mane is kind of the meme at the minute, but Sadio Mane, and then El Fernando Torres then at number 9. So we're going to have now a bench of 5 players, and then we'll end the video there. I say kind of we're going to do it with 5. We're going to pick 3 players because I've written 2 players down than what was suggested earlier on. Obviously, we need a goalkeeper, and Jack's cat's back, so he agrees. So Pepe Reina, for me, makes the goalkeeper bench spot, and Daniel Agger makes the defensive spot on the bench. Of course, we talked very highly of Daniel Agger. So we need either a midfielder. I think we'll go for a midfielder, to be, in there. Of course, we talked about about Mascherano, and Jack was very upset with me that I didn't put Mascherano in there. So we'll have Mascherano as a potential. The other name I'm going to shout out there is Jordan Henderson. And, I said on Jack's video, I think, he is going to potentially be the most successful Liverpool captain. He'll do in the Premier League because, Liverpool are, nearly on course to win the Premier League as long as it continues, and hopefully, or, they might just give Liverpool the title. Who cares? I joke it. I want to win it properly. But yeah, Jordan Henderson could be the first Liverpool captain to ever win the Premier League, and this is the Premier League Ultimate 11. So, does he deserve to be in it? Who knows? Doug, who would you have? Would you have Mascherano or would you have Jordan Henderson?
For me, Jordan Henderson has to be on the bench. I don't think he's good to start, unfortunately. But I mean, everyone I think was very surprised when obviously King Kenny obviously got Henderson. But I have to say, he was vindicated because what a player he's been. I actually remember the 2013-2014 season. He was almost out the door. He was almost going to Fulham, but I think he had a phone call with Brendan Rodgers and he said, I'm not going. So yeah, he would have been replaced by Clint Dempsey. Imagine that. But no, we all love the Hendo shuffle, don't we? We all loved it when they won the Champions League. We all loved it when the European Super Cup and obviously the World Club Cup as well. But for me, we actually have seen this season that we have really missed him when he has been injured, because I reckon had he not been injured, I think we would probably have the title in our hands right now. But the reason that Henderson was injured was we lost form. So you can see how important he has been. And to be honest, Jurgen Klopp has actually made him into like a more sort of attacking midfielder role now. And he doesn't score many, but he is getting more and more assists now. And I actually think it is between him and Mane for Player of the Year. I think we've all discussed that. But if you had said to me that Jordan Henderson would be potentially the most successful Liverpool captain back in 2012, you would have been laughing. You would have been laughing all the way back to Sunderland.
Yeah, he's, like we've discussed, Premier League Player of the Year potential. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Fabinho, that Mascherano replacement. We've been needing that for a while. And for me, Jordan Henderson, if you want to look at someone's career and look how, important he's been for Liverpool, I personally feel like we lost the title in 13-14 when he got sent off against Man City. I personally don't think it was the Gerrard slip because, all right, that did happen and that. But, he was a missed person, Jordan Henderson, there and then. And I do also agree with you, Doug, that, this season when we lost against Watford, he was a dire miss to that team. Jack, would you go Jordan Henderson or would you go with Mascherano?
Definitely go Henderson, mate, as much as I love Mascher. But I think, as you've already both of you hit the nail on the head in terms of Endo, he's grew into this Liverpool team. He's grew season by season. It's not been an easy step, and I think it was going to be a very difficult time for anyone that was replacing Steven Gerrard, even if it was Van Dijk. I think still would have struggled really there's no player in world football, no player in the history of Liverpool Football Club that is captained Liverpool like Steven Gerrard does. So, but I think every season he's learned from the likes of Lucas Lean. I think he done an interview a while back where he talked about Lucas being such a pivotal player because he had a very similar career path to what Henderson has had. He come into Liverpool like Lucas. Fans were on his back, and he's grew as a player. He's grew mentally and more or less in terms of his quality. As you mentioned, Conor, he's developed his game a lot more better going forward. I think that suits him a lot more. I think he was only playing in that defensive midfield role due to Fabinho not being there. And then I think now Fabinho has helped massively, but I think there's been no more player that he's helped more, Fab, than Henderson. And I think, as you mentioned before as well, titles, he's phenomenal. And I think at the end of his career, you'll see how important he was. His play style and the way in which he plays and the way in which he leads is not based up by stats. You can't. I think Carragher and Neville talked about this a couple of months back. Like, he does the stuff that you can't back up with stats, and everyone will be like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He doesn't get loads of assists, doesn't get loads of goals, but what he does is create space, and he's a workhorse. He tackles, pressurises, generates the press for Liverpool as a team. But I love him. I absolutely love him. Like I said, with Mane as well, those two, they emphasise and they highlight what Liverpool is, and you need that type of quality and that type of player on the bench. and he's so adaptable, and he can play anywhere, even in goal if he wants to.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. I think, like we've said, Jordan Henderson, I think if any young, like I said, I think if any young person is looking at someone to role model their career at, I think Jordan Henderson is a perfect person to look at in terms of, where he started, the struggle of, potentially leaving a big club like Liverpool and then becoming the club captain, having that stress under you, and then, progressing through now and becoming one of Jurgen Klopp's, leading men, then you could say, because he is probably the first name on the team sheet, every single time. So Jordan Henderson obviously gets on the bench. So I kind of want to give Mascherano on the bench as well, because I feel kind of guilty that Mascherano isn't on the bench. So Mascherano is on the bench. We'll have Jordan Henderson as a progressive player, and we'll have Mascherano as the defensive midfielder. So I need an attacker, and then we will call it there. So Jack, an attacking player from Liverpool's Premier League history, who would you go for?
It's definitely got to be Mario, isn't it? Mario, either that or Ricky Lambert or Fabio Borini. I don't know where Borini is. I don't think he's at Calgary or something.
I think he's at AC Milan.
Is he?
Yeah, he's at AC Milan.
His agent's done absolutely wonders. I'm gutted that Fabio didn't perform at Liverpool, but it's like I said, but it's got to be Bobby. I think I was gutted to leave him out, but for me, Suarez and Firmino, they're two very different players, but two very pivotal players. And I think we've mentioned Salah and we mentioned Mane as well, but what Bobby does, like Jürgen said, and everyone goes, oh yeah, he misses loads of chances, and if you look at how many chances he does miss, you're left scratching your head. I think he's missed 29 key chances this season, but for what he does off the ball, I know everyone goes, oh yeah, but he doesn't bang in a load of goals. No, but he helps Liverpool in all the areas, and you need that off the bench, I feel. For me, Bobby, I think, trying to think, David Ngo, Craig Bellamy, it's definitely got to be Bobby for me, mate.
Yeah, I think, Bob, it annoys me when people ask for Bobby to be sold and other things like that, because they're like, oh, he wears the number 9 shirt, he should be scoring 30, 40 goals. No, just because you wear a number, he does so much for this team off the ball. Liverpool wouldn't be going forward if it wasn't for Bobby Firmino. And for people, I've had words with people, and off, different things and all and they've said, they'd like to get rid of Bobby and all like this. I'm like, why? He does so much, and he's so adaptable as well. Now we're our team is 4-2-3-1. If we went 4-3-3, Bobby could change like that. It's so simple, and he makes football look so simple. Yes, he's not on the goal scoring side of things. I think he's converted 3% of his chances this season, which isn't good, but he's done so much off the ball. Doug, would you go Bobby Firmino, or would you go for someone else in an attacker from Liverpool's history?
Well, funnily enough, I had 3 written down. I had Bobby Firmino, Robbie Fowler, and Daniel Sturridge. So for me, as much as it pains me to say it, as I want Fowler in there, I will have to go for Bobby Firmino, because Bobby Firmino makes our front 3 click, and he is probably the most underappreciated player in the Premier League, because rival fans, I've seen it on Twitter saying, "Oh, Bobby Firmino." I see blooming Firmino and Martial comparisons. I mean, give me a break. They're 2 different players. But Firmino, for me, like I said, he makes a front 3 click. And I was reading something. He's actually into double figures again. So, he's been absolutely fantastic. And people forget that Brendan Rodgers signed him. So, had it not been for Brendan Rodgers, we wouldn't have Roberto Firmino. So, I think it's a bit of a statement to say that he's the most underappreciated player in the Premier League. But I think the things you see on Twitter back me up.
Yeah, fully agree. I think it's comparing me to Tom Cruise. It's definitely. I think I know who everyone would pick would be me. Not really anyway, but other ladies. But yeah, it's mad. Some people are crackers, mate. Martial, fantastic player, but he's so different to Bobby, mate. But it just baffles me. Some people should. I think that those people have just been given the mobile phone for the first time and they're allowed to tweet.
Yeah. The funniest thing is, people always they always remember like Martial's goal against us in his debut. Like, what's he done since? You know, Bobby Firmino has gone to European finals. He's won a European final. He won the World Cup for us, you know, and other things like that. So for me, Bobby Firmino does get in. And for everyone comparing him to Martial, shut up. Just simply shut up, because they are two completely different people, playing in two completely different sides, and we know which one of them is better. It's Liverpool, plain and simple. So yeah, Bobby Firmino gets in for me, and yeah, that's practically our bench then. So we got Pepe Reina, Daniel Agger, Jordan Henderson, Javier Mascherano, and Bobby Firmino. So that is our team and our bench. Guys, let us know in the comment section down below your formation, your 11, and your bench. It's a bench of 5. I think, you know, if we were to focus, you know, totally on it, I think we'd have a bench about 12 or 13 people, maybe with all the positions. It's, you know, Liverpool have had some very good players in the past, but of course, you know, we might do that. We might do a second 11 of different players. But of course, you know, this is the end then of the podcast, guys. Thank you so much if you have stayed tuned for it. Thank you to the 2 brilliant guests that I've had on today. Jack, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Anything else you have to say?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, mate, for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's some cracking team that we've all picked. Everyone let us know your thoughts. Get involved in the comment section below. But yeah, nice one. Thank you very much for having me on, mate. And got a video with you coming up on the channel tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, everyone. Get involved and make sure you do smash that subscribe button for Connor and Doug as well in the comment section below. The absolute legends. But everyone, keep safe, keep well, look after each other, and you two lads keep safe as well.
And you, mate. Of course, everyone go over to Jack's channel. You know, all the links are in the video description down below. Doug, as well, thank you for coming on, mate. Anything else you have to say?
I've got a video coming out tomorrow on Diego Carlos, our latest potential signing potential. So yeah, check that out. I'm getting some good feedback on my potential signings videos. So yeah, come and subscribe to me on the Dugout Football channel. But yeah, thanks for having me on, Connor. It's a pleasure to actually have the Kop Council podcast back. Anytime you want me on, I'll be happy to come on. But yeah, thank you very much for having me on. And yeah, that is some team that we've picked. I'm not going to lie, that front 4, the midfield, and you know that back 4 as well, and goalkeeper as well. I wonder how many goals we would be able to not concede there.
That is a question. Maybe we'll have to do like a simulator. Maybe we'll have to get all of them on a FIFA simulator or something, and then simulate the game or something for the season. We'll have to try that. But Doug, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
No problem.
Anytime. And honestly, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the video. If you could do me the massive favor and please like, share, and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to everyone here, because you know, if you do like Liverpool content, then you know, well, practically go to everyone's channel and hit that subscribe button. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in to the return of the Kop Council podcast, and hopefully we'll see you all again next time. Ta-ra.
See you later. Bye.